Hello listeners and viewers. Welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned, as always, to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Hello students, my name is Nuhu Bako Fus. You are welcome to government class. Topic for the day, federalism. Meaning of federalism. Federalism can be defined as a system of government in which political powers of the state are shared between the central government and other component units. In other words, federalism involves the sharing of powers between the central government and other subordinate units. Example, local government, state, and region. So federalism is a system of government where powers are shared among the component or subordinate units of government. In other words, federalism is a decentralization system of government because powers are shared to different components of the government for a better administration. Now, federalism, it is important for you to know that these units or component or subordinate units have their power and the right to operate at its own level without any interference by the other component or subordinate units. Federalism is most practicable in a heterogeneous society. A heterogeneous society meaning a country that is very big in size and highly populated. A country with many religions, a country with different kind of people, different belief, different culture or tradition, and also a country with different ethnic groups, dialects, or tribes. That is what heterogeneous country means. Now, the brief history of federalism in Nigeria. The history of federalism in Nigeria could be traced back to the division of the country into three provinces: the northern, the eastern, and the western province, way back in 1939. This recommendation, or there was a recommendation made by Governor Budlong before he left. He recommended that this province should be replaced by regions. But it will also interest you to note that in some textbooks, particularly historical textbooks, they said, or it is written that federalism could be best stressed during Sir Frederick Lugard, when he was the governor of Nigeria then. He amalgamated the northern and the southern protectorate in 1914. He shared the country into two. So some historians said federalism can be traced or could be traced in 1914 during Sir Frederick Lugard. But in government, we laid emphasis from the 3 provinces, then later to the 3 regions. Now, in 1946, Richard Constitution introduced regionalism into Nigerian political system. That is, 3 regions were introduced, and the 3 regions are the northern, the eastern, and the western regions. And these 3 regions replaced the province we had as at 1932. And in 1951, Macpherson Constitution improved on Richard by creating House of Representatives with powers, with powers to make laws for the country, and regional House of Assembly to also make laws for their regions on specific matters. So as you can see, Macpherson Constitution built on Richard's Constitution, and federalism keeps on building and keeps on taking shape from Richard to Macpherson. Now, Macpherson had 2 bodies, the House of Representatives and the House of Assembly. And they both had powers, to control, their offices within the limit of the power given to them by the Constitution. So that is a very good development on federalism. In the same vein, Littleton Constitution of 1954 came up with a federal system of government for the country in full. And it was as a result of 1953 London Constitutional Conference, that it was agreed and decided that Nigeria should be made a federal state. So it was in London Constitution that a decision was taken that Nigeria should be made a federal state. So from Richard to Macpherson, from Macpherson to Littleton. So we can see in 1954, Littleton Constitution laid a very good foundation for federalism in Nigeria. And it will interest you to know also that in 1954, for the first time, we had tiers of government, the central and the regional government. And the exclusive power or the exclusive functions went to the central, and the concurrent functions went to the state and regional government, and the residual functions also went to the residuals, to the regional government to function as it is in the Constitution. So they all had powers, to manage their activities or their affairs, as enshrined in the Constitution, because the Constitution gave them the power and the right to operate. And bear it in mind, without interference by any subordinate or component unit, they have the right and the power to operate independently as enshrined in the Constitution. Now, factors responsible for Nigerian federalism. Factors responsible for Nigerian federalism. Religious and cultural diversity. 1, religious and cultural diversity. Different religious belief and cultural diversity among the ethnic groups in Nigeria made the operation of a federal system possible. As mentioned, Nigeria is a heterogeneous society, and this point is clearly seen as at then in Nigeria. 3 major religions and different beliefs there are other minor religions, many beliefs. Many people worship idols and other gods, apart from the three main religions we have: Christianity, Islam, and traditional religion. We also have other minor religions. So as at then, with this multitude or diverse religion, it was seen that this practice should be best practice in Nigeria. And also the cultural diversity, different tribes, different ethnic groups, dialects or languages, as we have it on record. We have over 350 languages or tribes in Nigeria. So with that, federalism was the best option to be operated by Nigeria. Secondly, the British colonial policy. British adopted federal structure by dividing the territory into regions and ruling them separately. British introduced, this structure by dividing the regions into three. That is, when British came, the system of government introduced by the British, they used the three regions and they had leaders that were in charge, answerable to the governor then. So they had that right then to rule as is enshrined in the Constitution, and they are answerable to the governor. And Little Constitution then was the constitution that has given them that mandate or that right to operate at their own level. And they are all answerable to Littleton as the then governor in 1954. Population of the country. Another reason for the adoption of federalism in Nigeria was its population. As at the time of independence, the population of Nigeria was estimated at 45.21 million. 45.21 million as at independence. This is a very good population for this system to be introduced. And it is also another major reason that necessitated for the implementation of federalism system in Nigeria, because as of then, Nigeria was highly populated, and even now. So population of the country is another major factor that necessitated to the formation of federalism in Nigeria. Size of the country is another factor too. One of the major factors responsible for the adoption of federalism in Nigeria was its size. Nigeria is quite a big country in terms of size, having it in terms of size with an area of 923,768 kilometers square. What a big country. And federalism system of government need to be introduced in a big country like Nigeria. So the size of Nigeria, federalism system of government, is the best system that ought to be introduced. And that was why federalism was introduced in Nigeria. Availability of human and natural resources. Nigeria has not enough of these resources to run a federal system. In terms of population, I've mentioned earlier, we have highly educated people, good people that can fit into any office, good people that can fit into all the offices we have and all the fields we have. Many people that are highly intelligent, highly educated, can go into different fields, can man offices, politically or administratively and other aspects. And that is why this system was introduced. Also, we have enough of natural resources in Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of resources. So federalism, as at then, was the best option to be introduced in Nigeria because of the availability of human resources, of the availability of human and natural resources. The next point also is bringing government to the grassroots. Bringing government to the grassroots. Federalism makes the people to be involved in government and also participate in policy making of their country. From ward to local government to state, and state to federal level. What a good structure for a federalism system of government to be implemented. Because people are involved, people are included, in policy making or decision making. So federalism was the best option to be introduced in Nigeria. The rights of the minorities and other interest groups are usually recognized and given in a federal system of government. In a federal system of government, the rights of the minority and other interest group are considered by the government. So knowing fully that federalism has that concern, the federalism system of government, was to be introduced or has to be adopted because they consider the minority and other interest group. They welcome them in their decision taking and they allow them to partake in decision making. So whatever the federal system of government had to do or what to do to the majority ought to be done to the minority. So the interest of the minority in federalism system of government and other interest group are being considered in this federalism system of government. That is why this system of government was introduced in Nigeria, because the interests of the minority and other interest groups are considered. More economically advanced countries sometimes influence the exercise of sovereignty of developing countries. More economically advanced countries or developed countries help or aid to maintain the sovereignty of developing countries. Countries like United States of America, USA, Germany, France, and the like always like to support and maintain the sovereignty of developing country, like most countries in Africa. Most countries in Africa are developing country. So the more economical country has the interest to maintain the sovereignty, that is the freedom or the autonomy of the developing countries. Geographical factor. Different component units are geographically near to one another, making it easier for the adoption of federal system. The component units are close to one another. The region, local government, state or federal are within the same geographical area in the same country. There is no any issue or problem of sea separating the component unit or the subordinate unit of the government. So this is also another most important factor that necessitated for the adoption of federalism, because all the component units are within the country or within a state. Features of Nigerian federalism. Constitution division of power. Powers are constitutionally shared between the central authority and other component units of the region, state and local government. Powers are constitutionally shared. The state, the local, the federal government, powers are constitutionally shared. And the Constitution has given each the right and the power to operate independently. Written and rigid constitution. In a federal system of government, the Constitution adopted in a federalism system of government is written and rigid. The Constitution is written and is rigid. Written on paper, and it is not or no individual, government component unit, or group of individuals or the president has the right to amend the Constitution anyhow. Why? Because it is written and it is rigid. So Constitution has given it that power. And the pattern and the procedure of amending written and a rigid Constitution is a little bit tough, and it has a long procedure or processes before written and rigid Constitution can be amended. The 3 tiers of government derive their powers from the Constitution. Also, the 3 tiers of government derive their power from the Constitution. So the 3 tiers of government, are operating, within the limit of the power given to them by the Constitution. So they have the constitutional rights, to operate, and they operate independently. Supremacy of the law. The Constitution separated the function and the personnel among 3 organs of government, namely the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. These 3 organs of government, the Constitution clearly defined and stated, their right and their power, to operate independently without interference with any of the organ of government. Bicameral legislation. This system has 2 bodies, that is the Senate and the House of Representatives. And those bodies also has the right and the power to operate and make laws. We also have the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court had power of the judicial review and interpretation of cases. It is considered as the highest court in the country in terms of hierarchy. Then secession. This is not allowed in the federalism system of government. Secession, that is a part of the country to break away and form a country in a country on its own. Example, Biafra in 1967 when the Civil War broke. It was as a result of secession by the Biafras that led to that. So it is not welcome in a federalism system of government. Now, we have come to the end of the lesson, but before we go, bear it in mind, in summary, the federalism is a system of government where powers are shared among the component units, and they have the right to operate independently. Now, an assignment for you. 1, what are the features of Nigerian federalism? What are the features of Nigerian federalism? 2, explain the factors that necessitated for the adoption of federalism in Nigeria. I repeat, what are the features of Nigerian federalism? 2, explain the factors that necessitated for the adoption of Nigerian federalism. Now, in case of any question, you can reach me through this number, 0802 354 7912. 0802 354 7912. My name is Nuhu Bako Fus. Thank you.